Hey guys, I'm Patrick Johnston, managing broker, GoDominicanLife.com and LasTerrenasLife.com, right here in beautiful, sunny Dominican Republic. Today, I am traveling from Las Terrenas, heading towards Santo Domingo, and then onwards to Santiago and back into our second office in Sosua for various meetings around the country. So we're going to talk about today what it's like driving in this country. I think that makes the most sense because I'm driving. Gracias. Gracias. She said good travels, by the way. So traveling in this country, I mean, is very, very efficient, very easygoing. The rumors of how bad the roads are, how evil the country is on driving and all that kind of stuff, I don't believe any of it. I've crossed all four parts of this country, north, south, east, and west, everything in between, paved roads, gravel roads, all on my motorcycle, now in the Jeep, and I've never had any issue with it. So I'm going to cover a couple of things that I want you to keep in mind when you're traveling and driving. Number one, you always have to have the mind or the eyes of a spider. So because this is not your home country, it's not my home country, so we can't apply the rules of the road from the US and Canada, or Europe for that matter, to how things run here, because they're different. Very different. Some things like Dominicans typically pass you whenever they want to pass you. So we learn not to pass on a corner, not to pass up on a hill, not pass going down a hill. And they seem to love passing on a blind corner with no lights on at night, as an example. So you just want to be careful on that side. Number two, speed. In this country, on the most roads, it runs between 80 to 90 kilometers per hour. There's very few roads that are more than that. There is a little, like anywhere in the world, if you go 5 or 10 kilometers over the speed limit, you're good. But there are speed checks in this country. But the difference between here and in North America, they don't chase you. They will stand in the middle of the road with a radar gun like this, and sometimes there's two of them, one stand in each lane so that you get the point that you have to stop, and then they write you a ticket. In this country, the tickets are fee-based, and I think they're flat, like it's 1,000 pesos per speeding ticket, which runs $15 to $17 US. They don't have a demerit point system here. Therefore, it's just a monetary fine. So that monetary fine adds up. I've had, 2 or 3 speeding tickets last week. I'm only kidding. 2 or 3 speeding tickets in a course of a few years. And what I've learned from that is simply be polite. Make sure if it's your rent-a-car, you know where the ownership and insurance papers are before you leave the rental car place. Normally it's in the glove box, but look and see that you have active insurance and that the ownership papers match the VIN number. It's very, very important to do that. I have it in my phone. It's saved. I have it in my glove box. And I also have, of course, they will ask for, if you get pulled over for a speeding ticket, they'll ask for your driver's license or passport. Most of us from North America don't have a Dominican driver's license, and technically you don't need it for the first 30 or 60 days or 90 days while you're in the country. I don't have a Dominican license. I've been driving here since 2014, full time. So technically I should get it, but you can't get a driver's license in this country unless you have a cedula, and a cedula is you're a legal resident. So in the interim, you always show your passport. So one thing they would do potentially is if you're over the 30 to 90 day window that you can drive with your active valid passport and an active driver's license from a different country, they will look for potentially the stamp of your arrival date in the country. Therefore, I always just show them my passport that's in my phone that doesn't have all the stamps in it, just to be safe. If they ask, I just say, well, my passport's at home. You're not going to get in any issue with it. It's just, you just have to do these things. You have to play along with the system. So number 2 is just be careful driving. Knowing that you have same things. You can get pulled over for speeding. You can get drinking and driving is an issue as well. So don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Number 3, driving in the night or the afternoon, late afternoon, or early morning. It's the most challenging driving in this country at those hours because not everyone finds it necessary to have lights on anything they drive. And that can be a motorcycle, like this, a tractor in the farm areas, or a car with no lights. So it's, unless you're very comfortable driving in this country or any other country around the world, it's best not to drive at night, period. For those that do have lights, they have screaming lights, which means they have big LED lights on the top of the Jeep or the car, a bar light, all the lights that would be illegal to have in North America, they put those on the vehicles here at night to brighten up the road. I understand why, but they don't necessarily all have the courtesy of lowering those lights when you go past them. So you have to be very careful because it can be blinding. Don't be afraid of it, but just drive slowly. Number 4, things that can happen in the countryside. Here are livestock, like you can see right here. Look, cows right at the side of the road. You'll get a horse standing in the road in the middle of the night, or if you're driving late at night. Why? No different than North America. The animals want to get to the road to get away from mosquitoes and other things that are flying around. So they tend to want to do that. So you have to be very cautious on your driving. That's why some Dominican vehicles put big giant lights on their vehicles to flash in advance to know what's happening. Number 5, a very positive thing in this country is the roads are all very, very good, with very, very few exceptions. And those exceptions are generally in the city of Santo Domingo, because that city is like all the time like this, like a Toronto or New York or Montreal or Vancouver. It's hard to do road repairs. But all of the main thoroughfares that crisscross the country, north, south, east to west, and all the way in the central, they're better quality than Canadian roads as far as I'm concerned. I've never had an issue with it. Number 6, huge benefit in this country is that we in North America have either AAA in the United States or CAA, which is the Canadian Automobile Association, or the American Automobile Association. They exist here. I call it DAA, DRAA, but it's not that. It has an acronym on the car, but basically all the major roads, 24 hours a day, every 20 to 30 or 40 minutes, they drive every thoroughfare. It's a pickup truck. There's 2 people in the pickup truck. In the back of the pickup truck, they have gasoline. They can change your tire. They can put your motorcycle on the truck and take you to the next stop. They can change your tire. I think I said that. They carry different fluids that are maybe needed. It's 100% free. It's not a service you have to pay monthly for. And it's basically, for me, it's free and here's a tip. Okay? One thing to be sort of aware of in this country is that everybody, whether it's coming off the airport, you're going into a bank, you're going into a grocery store, there's always some security guard with a giant rifle at every entrance, which we find for the first time intimidating by North American standards because we don't see that. But in these pickup trucks, you're going to have a driver. They're fully uniformed, like military look, with like fluorescent things on because they're working on the road to help you. The driver won't have that big rifle, and the guy that is in the passenger seat has the giant rifle. Why? Look, they're helping people randomly they don't even know, and they're helping you. You could be a bad person, and you're not. So I'm just giving you that warning that be aware of it. I've had to use their services many times. twice on my motorcycle, once on a rental car, and they drove me to 20 minutes to a place to stay overnight, put my motorcycle in the back of the truck, and I got safe. And it's a government service. It's a very, very positive thing in this country. Another thing in this country that is very good is that the infrastructure, the roads themselves, I mentioned that they're good, but there are tolls. And I know I'm saying that tolls are a good thing, but they are, because there is money flowing back into the government somehow that reaches back into the roads. And I can tell you from the landscaping on the roads, you constantly see the men and women working for the government that are cutting all the grass on a regular basis, picking up garbage along any of the major roads. And that's a positive thing, because again, all of these things I told you about, most people, if you stay in an all-inclusive resort or you stay in sort of a contained hotel, they will always say to you, it's dangerous outside the resorts. It's not. It's not. It's not. You have to maintain extreme common sense, because sometimes when you leave the resort, you don't. So, a couple tips for the day on driving here in the country. Again, we're driving now from Las Terrenas to Santo Domingo, about 2.5 hours to where we're going. We have some appointments in the city, and then we're driving 3.5 hours up through Santiago to Sosua, Puerto Plata this afternoon. More from the road later on. Okay, Patrick Johnston. If you need me for real estate, text me on WhatsApp, 829-525-1782. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Okay, adios.